Hello friends, in this video I will be discussing about a new watercolor travel set from Daniel Smith. It is called Ultimate Mixing Hand Poured Watercolor Half Pan Set, 15 color half pan set. I was introduced to this watercolor set in an event organized by Daniel Smith recently at Bangalore where I stay. And it was there I was introduced to the wide range of bright watercolors from Daniel Smith. I also had an opportunity to do a demonstration using their colors to the crowd. This particular travel set was given to me to do the demonstration, and I liked it very much, and I thought I will share it across to my viewers. I will also share what it contains. I will create a swatch of all the colors, and I will also do a simple watercolor demonstration using these colors. Hi friends, I am Vanidas Mangathil, and let us learn watercolors together. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe and press the bell notification so that you will get notified whenever I release a new video. I am planning to release at least one video per week, if not more. Without further ado, let us get into the tutorial. We will be discussing about this watercolor set. Ultimate Mixing Hand Poured Watercolor Half Pan and set of 15, along with 2 bonus travel cases and 15 empty pans. I will show that once I open the set box. And regarding the colors, it is mentioned on the cover that it is professional artist quality, high pigment load, rewets quickly and easily, portable and easy to use, made in Seattle, USA. Right. So, and regarding the colors, okay, they have named the colors on the side of it. The colors are Jane's Grey, Raw Umber, Indian Red, Burnt Sienna, Brown Ochre, and Phthalo Green, Phthalo Blue, Cerulean Blue, and Ultramarine Blue, Quinacridone Rose, Permanent Alizarin Crimson, Pyrrole Scarlet, Quinacridone Gold, Hansa Yellow Medium, and Buff Titanium. These are the 15 colors. Inside the packet, it contains two of these travel set. Okay, and in one of it, it is filled with colors. I have already opened it earlier. I have tried out some colors. Okay, so you can see the 15 colors which we have mentioned earlier. They are all poured in and dried, and we can have the mixing here. So I tried it already, and we can. It is convenient if you are traveling and if you are painting plein air painting, on location painting. It is convenient. Though the mixing area is small, but it is convenient for traveling, right? And in the other one, it is an empty set. If you want extra colors, you can pour in and you can carry. Okay, right. So this is about the palette travel set and colors. And now let us sort of make a swatch out of it. I have drawn a small table sort of thing with all the colors name written, and we will be making color swatches on into this table. Okay, so this is Jane's Grey. I haven't used this color earlier, so I really do not know what it looks like, but it looks like a sort of a cool grey color with a neutral kind of a tonal value. Raw Umber, I think it went little thicker at the top. Next, Burnt Sienna, Next is brown ochre. I haven't seen this colors in other brands which I have used. I haven't used this color earlier. It looks like a brownish ochre, brown ochre, as it is already mentioned. It looks like yellow ochre with a brownish touch. Oh, it's very bright color. Phthalo blue. Cerulean blue. Ultramarine blue. Pretty strong pigments, bright colors. Quinacridone rose. Oh, I have taken very little of the color. It is very sort of bright. Permanent alizarin crimson. As you can see, it is very strong pigments. Okay, very bright colors. Pyrrole scarlet, very warm kind of a red. Quinacridone gold. It is gold. Sorry for the spelling. It is gold. Oh, very bright. Very strong warm color. Hansa yellow medium. Finally, we have kind of a white, which is buff titanium. It is sort of not pure white. It is kind of a buff color. So these are the 15 colors that is contained in this particular watercolor set, and good range of colors, and looks to be transparent pigments, as you can see. I would have preferred maybe one more green if it was available, but that is okay. I mean, this seems to be have a good range of browns and some cool and warm reds, yellows, cool and warm blues. Okay, we can always mix the blues and blues and yellows to get other versions of greens if you want. Okay, so I think that's it about the swatches, and we can now try to do one simple watercolors out of it. I am using a cold pressed watercolor paper around A4 size, slightly less than A4, and I am making a very quick drawing, a couple of boards, and maybe some figures. So I have sped up the video slightly to save some time on the drawing part. It is a loose drawing. Okay, some basic board with some structures, and as I told, some figures. I'm using a graphite pencil, 2B soft pencil. I think that much of a drawing is sufficient, and a couple of figures then. Okay, maybe some figures on the ground. And some figures on the top. See, these figures, these drawings are just for an initial idea, and while painting I might slightly deviate from the drawing. So I prefer to go bold and paint loosely. Sometimes I paint slightly deviating from the drawing. So right now I am taking some Jane's grey for some greyish tone and little bit of blue. Right, so cerulean blue and Jane's grey, very kind of a greyish kind of a sky. I am leaving the white space for the boat. And I am making slightly darker version now. Same Jane's grey and blue. Blue could be cerulean or ultramarine. Right now I am taking ultramarine to make it slightly darker tone and a touch of red. So it is Jane's grey, touch of permanent alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue. I switch between ultramarine blue and cerulean blue to get some slight tonal variation, color variation, etc. Maybe some more darker clouds here. The clouds are done wet on wet. Okay. I think this much of clouds are well good enough. I am using a small round brush. For the initial sky I have used a mop brush. Now I am using a smaller round brush. Okay. It is the same color between the boats also. I think it went slightly darker, so I am dropping some water to make it lighter, and leaving some paper white for the boats, and some area of the boat I am just diffusing with the same color. Some tissue paper I am taking off some of the colors. Now I am using little bit of brown ochre and maybe burnt sienna to get the land. Maybe we need, I'm trying to figure out the colors. Okay, I'm trying to figure out the colors because it's something new to me. So I'm using brown ochre and little bit of burnt sienna. Maybe brown ochre seems to be good. Maybe I need some warmer color, so what, little bit of burnt sienna. Yeah, it looks better. For this entire painting, my plan is to use the travel set from Daniel Smith, as we have discussed at the beginning. I might, for some opaque final touches, I might use some other colors. I will let you know if that happens. So some purple color now. It is a little bit of alizarin crimson and a touch of cerulean blue and maybe ultramarine. These are some foreground area, reddish purple. I think we are pretty much done with the foreground, and I am splashing some water, okay, to get some textures. Let it dry completely. And now it is fully dry, and let us apply some colors to the board. I am using some phthalo green and maybe adding little bit of buff titanium, because phthalo green by itself looks too bright. So phthalo green and little bit of left out color from the palette and buff titanium. Since we only have the 15 color set, there are some limitation in terms of readily available colors, so I am kind of mixing colors, adding a little bit of Jane's grey and buff titanium to create the darker tones for the boat. I may have to explore it more to get better color combination. Some of the grey stuff to make it darker at the bottom of the boat, and little bit of alizarin crimson and Hansa yellow to make some warm sort of red color for the other boat. See, the colors are pretty bright, okay,
We may need to do a little bit more paintings to get used to the various color combinations, color mixes that we can make. It looks good. Maybe some darker tones by adding Jane's Grey to the red. Jane's Grey, as I told at the beginning while creating the swatch, it looks like kind of a cool grey, something like a Penny's grey or neutral tint. You can consider that. Some darker tones, some dry brushworks. I'm using thicker pigment. See, whenever I'm using thick dark color, it is a kind of a mix of Jane's Grey, burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. These are the three colors I am mixing to get very dark tones. Okay. Some of the shadows using darker tones created by Jane's Grey and ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. Some dark purplish kind of a color for this, and using some cerulean blue for the boat, the structure in the boat. Okay, maybe a little bit more blue. Some ultramarine blue, and maybe we need some darker tones here later. Burnt sienna, Jane's Grey and ultramarine blue to get some darker values. Taking some Indian red as well, just trying it out. Adding Jane's Grey to Indian red to get some darker tones. Most of the time the darks are done by Jane's Grey, ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. I am using a liner brush for some of these finer details. Some masts or poles or whatever you call it. This is dry brushworks using liner brush and thicker consistency paint, thicker consistency darks. I'm sorry, some of the mixing area is not covered in the video because somehow I missed covering that area. But the color that I am mixing is a thicker consistency, Jane's Grey, ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. Some quick dry brushworks. I have done this kind of painting. I remember that I have done another tutorial for similar kind of a subject. So you can take a look at that, in my videos. Some details. Dry brushworks are good for details. These are done quickly. These lines has to be drawn very quickly, otherwise it may not look good. If you are liking this tutorial, if you are finding value in it, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. If you have any question, suggestion, please do write them into the comment box below. I will surely try to find time and respond to you as early as possible. These are just some kind of elements to engage the area. These are completely, all the colors are from Daniel Smith watercolor travel watercolor set. Let us take some cerulean blue and create the first figure and some darker tones as usual. Some Pyrrole Scarlet red color for the other figure. For the figures, I would have preferred tubes because I get thicker consistency for some of the details when we take from tube. Right. Some dark purple color for the figures at the top. Maybe another figure here. These figures are just to create some story and to engage the overall scene so that you find some actions happening in the boat and on the ground, etc. I'm finding this palette very handy to hold in the hand and mix it. Maybe a ladder here, I don't know why. I want to make some orange for the exposed body part of the figures, so I am mixing some Hansa yellow and scarlet and buff titanium. I would have preferred a pure orange color, preferably from a tube here, but since we don't have that, I am trying to mix it. Okay, I think it is reasonably okay. Right. Maybe some flags. Some flags here maybe. I think we are pretty much done. I want to give some highlight with the white, but since it is titanium, buff titanium, I am not getting sufficient contrast. I should have used the titanium white, but unfortunately I don't have. So just for this highlight, I am using Chinese white watercolor directly from the tube from Camel brand. Just for this white highlight touches, I am using a different brand, but rest for the entire painting I have used the travel set from 15 color travel set from Daniel Smith. Some more highlighting touches here and there. See, these highlighting touches gives a bit of contrast to some of these small elements, and it will overall create interest to the image. So let us sign and take out the tape, and we can treat that the painting is done. Maybe just a highlight line using red color here, and yeah, that's it. Let us take out the tape and we can treat it as done. So I hope this video was informative and you could learn about the colors and about the watercolor painting. So thank you so much for being with me in this tutorial. If you have any questions or suggestions, please do write them into the comment box below. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and press the bell notification. So we'll see you soon with another interesting tutorial, and happy painting until then. Bye bye.